conferences. One of the things that I think many of us are overlooking when it comes to the virtual offerings or simply taking what was working offline and putting it online is we have to redefine what success looks like. And I think that also starts with an understanding that there's a reason virtual events have not replaced offline conferences for the last 10 years. And it's because really they can't. The serendipity, those networking components, those one-on-one things that really exist offline can never truly be replaced. But I do believe if we manage expectations and we redefine what success of an online event looks like, we can add digital components that traditionally wouldn't be available for us offline and integrate them into these virtual solutions. And I really think provide not only a different experience, but a supporting experience in the time that we don't have events and really connecting that offline event to the digital world 365 days a year. And what do I mean by redefining success? What I mean by that is there's many components of an event when someone's putting on an event. As a speaker, as someone that's been advising events from a content perspective, as well as speaker's perspective, as well as working with many different events on bringing in different sponsors, what the value of an event is for a sponsor is oftentimes different than the value of an event from the event manager. It also is different from the attendees. And then even more so than that, it could be different based on if is it an association event? Is it a brand event? Is our goal to get leads? Is our goal to show and demonstrate our thought leadership? Is the idea for us to bring people together so that we can foster these partnerships? And offline events have all of these different components. When we take an event online, we have to really prioritize each one of them and then understand what kind of offerings we can make to achieve those goals. For example, a lot of people are putting back-to-back webinars together and calling that an online event. But if we think about what a webinar was built for and the whole concept of a webinar, so much of that is focused on lead generation and the idea of giving someone a taste of something and allowing them into either a demonstration or into an interactive discussion to hopefully have them wanting more or having them be able to buy something or get exclusive access. And that's just one small component of what an offline event might be. And so when we're redefining what success looks like, and when I'm working with brands, what I want to do is I want to define what success is. I want to put those out there on the list. And then my next step is not to jump what are the most popular platforms. My next step is not to pick the speakers or the content. Rather, what are the things that we can do? What are the goals that we can have that are tangible and measurable? One of the things with an offline event that's a big limitation is that too often I hear about, well, there's so much value that happens in offline events, but it's in the hallways, and we can't really quantify that exactly, but we try to add that. Well, in the digital landscape, we have digital breadcrumbs in every interaction that someone takes, but those really can only be valuable for us if we start with understanding what they are. And so we define what success is, we look at our goals, and we connect them to tangible things that we can actually measure. Now, the next step, we go beyond that success and goals, now looks at the content as well as what is that audience experience. For me as a speaker, I've now been speaking for many, many years around the world. I've traveled to 76 countries. One of the things that I love the most as a keynote speaker is that we have something that no money can buy, and that is people's time. We have their captured attention. Even if they have their laptop or their phone, they're not leaving the event or leaving the conference when we're giving a keynote, and we have that luxury of that captured attention. In the digital world, not only do we have not captured attention, but we have distractions in every way possible. But we also have a consumer that has been trained to get things where they want it, when they want it, how they want it, and in any format they want it. Therefore, we have to embrace that rather than trying to force them to watch a 60-minute keynote video. Because let's face it, if someone just wants to watch a 60-minute keynote video, there's hundreds and thousands of TED Talks and YouTube videos. And so what I mean by us having to redefine success, but also map it to this distracted audience member, is we have to think from it saying, how do we customize it in a choose your own adventure type format to tap into what that digital consumer loves about digital, the idea that they have the power, they have the control, while also connecting that to the goals and the version of success that we currently mapped out. Now, the way that I believe that we can do that is it's an integration of produced content ahead of time, live components of an event, a virtual event, that can only be consumed on that day, and then the option to consume supporting pieces of content if, let's say, the next talk in the digital event isn't something that you are currently in need of your event, the ability to be able to dive deeper in maybe the previous topic, or maybe be able to listen to a podcast or download a white paper that might support and be something that's a little bit more tangible. The other piece of this is probably the last one of it, which is probably most interesting for those that are out there, is I've been testing multiple different platforms. I've used everything from SharePoint to traditional video to live streaming. I've done over 3,000 live streams on Facebook, Periscope, Meerkat, Blab, Google Hangout, YouTube Live, LinkedIn Live. And really the thing that it comes down to, funny enough for me when it comes to a platform, is I don't believe any one platform is perfect out there today. But I do believe the collaboration of multiple different solutions can allow us to deliver this seamless experience for that digital consumer. But it doesn't mean we just buy one and plug it in. It's how can we integrate, a video platform that allows interviews while connecting it with a platform that allows us to, manage and have a learning management system underneath it, while also including gamification and chat room and maybe downloadable assets, while also doing what we hope, is part of the event, is bringing people along with that journey, integrating great speakers, great stories, leveraging hosts to kind of connect the dots throughout the entire, event and solution. And so as I'm looking at this and as I'm working, in this virtual event producer space, not only am I starting to think about how can we really disrupt this space, but I'm looking at things like we need to train the audience that we have coming to an event on what their expectations are and all of the different elements that they have so that they take and block their calendar, because we've all done that, right? If we sign up for a webinar, we don't block our calendar. We'll also be doing, notes for a blog post. We'll be maybe walking our dog. And so training the audience is almost as important as training the speakers to create digital first experiences. And that's where I believe we can take these virtual events into the digital experience future. And I'm excited to be part of it.